Hey, what is up, everybody? I am here to give you the Wrestling Throwback Friday series. It is returned, it is back, and it is better than ever. Now, if you don't know what this series is, I take a past wrestling event. It's not pay-per-views or anything, it's just TV shows, just Raws, for the SmackDowns, ECWs, like the Hardcore TV or the WWE ECW version. If you don't know what ECW stands for, it stands for Extreme Championship Wrestling. I do WWE Superstars, WWE Main Event. I did NXTs. So any Wrestling Throwback Friday reviews I will do. Even WCW Monday Night Nitro. WCW stands for World Class. No, WCW stands for World Championship Wrestling. I am going to be doing all of that. So what you're probably wondering, which one I'm going to do today. Well, today I am going to be doing WWF, which stands for World Wrestling Federation, Monday Night Raw review for January 18th. I believe that's the right date. Yeah, January 18th, 1993. Now, this was the second episode ever of Monday Night Raw, and if you want to see my first ever review episode ever, you can click up there. And I'm going to be reviewing this. I'm going to talk about it, so let's get right into it. So we had Bob Bartlett, I think is how you say his last name, Vince McMahon, and Macho Man Randy Savage on commentary for this show. It actually kicks off with them like introducing the show, which I like, and Bob Bartlett took a picture of Bobby the Brain Heenan because he was taking his spot on commentary, and he ended up tearing up that picture. And then the Repo Man jumps Macho Man Randy Savage from behind. He attacks him, and then he steals his hat. So I thought that was pretty cool. I looked away for a second and missed it, so I had to rewind it, but I thought that was pretty cool. And then we get the first match on the show. We have Terrific Terry Taylor versus Mr. Perfect. I like this match here. Mr. Perfect dominates Terrific Terry Taylor. He hits a lot of suplexes. He hits a sick dropkick on him. And then eventually Taylor knocks Perfect outside the ring. And then he bounces him right off the guardrail. And I should mention, too, that throughout the first half of the match, Macho Man Randy Savage wasn't on commentary for this match because he was trying to find the Repo Man. But then eventually he went back on commentary. And they actually had Bobby the Brain Heenan come on the phone in this match where they would interview him, and he was talking about how Bob Bartlett ended up to tear up his picture, and he says he's a better commentator, and if he really wanted to take his commentary position, he would. So that was kind of like a little bit of a feud there. I think they were trying to hype up, which I liked. But Terrific Terry Taylor just dominates Mr. Perfect for a while, and then eventually Mr. Perfect makes a comeback. He hits a suplex. He hits he acts like he's going to pick him up from a power driver, but instead he knees him in the face. And he's about to put away Taylor. And then Ric Flair comes out, and Mr. Perfect gets distracted by him. And Taylor hits the knees Perfect in the spine. He falls outside the ring. Then Terrific Terry Taylor is distracting the referee. And Ric Flair just starts beating the crap out of Mr. Perfect. He bounces his head off the step, and he just beats the shit out of him. And then Terrific Terry Taylor tries to hit a suplex, but Mr. Perfect counters into the Perfect Plex and gets the win. And then right afterwards, Ric Flair was gone, and Mr. Perfect just runs right after trying to find Ric Flair because he wants to attack him. Because Mr. Perfect and Ric Flair were feuding. And it was a feud that made sense because Mr. Perfect used to be the manager of Ric Flair, and then somehow they had some sort of dissension. I'm not really sure how. But I like this here, and I just like the way that, like I said, that the match itself was good, the storyline between Ric Flair and Mr. Perfect, and I just liked how right when Mr. Perfect won, he just immediately went right after Ric Flair. I thought that was good. And then it shows some special advertisements. Now, normally I don't talk about advertisements, but it shows Bret Hart doing an advertisement, and then it shows Macho Man Randy Savage doing the Slim Jims advertisement, which was awesome. It's one of his famous lines that he's had in his career, so I thought that was cool. And then Vince McMahon interviews Bret the Hitman Hart, and he's he was actually the WWF champion at the time, and they were building into a match at the Royal Rumble between him and Razor Ramon. And Bret Hart cut a promo on Razor Ramon saying that you could come after me and attack me all you want, but when you go out, but you do not attack my family, my brother Owen, and you do not slap my dad, who's going to be turning like 70 years old or something like that. That's when you make it personal. And he says that you will go. He says that he's gonna pretty much beat Razor Ramon. I like this promo here actually. Usually Bret Hart isn't really that good on the mic, but his promo here was actually pretty good, I thought. And he talks about how he's the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. I thought this was good here. And then Undertaker and Paul Heyman. Oh, I messed up. I accidentally wrote Paul. I meant to write Undertaker and Paul Bear were backstage. And they were cutting promos about how wrestlers, I guess, going to get destroyed when Undertaker wrestles them. And then they hyped this, like, illness that they were doing at the time. So I thought that was good. And then we get the next match, Marty Jannetty versus Glenn Rose. And they actually have Shawn Michaels, who was the Intercontinental Champion at the time, because Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty were feuding over the Intercontinental Championship. And Shawn Michaels was talking about how when Marty Jannetty and Shawn Michaels were together as the Walkers, he was the highlight of the team. He always knew what was going on, and he still now knows what's going on, and he was the star of the team. And he talks about how he's the Intercontinental Champion, and he's going to leave the Royal Rumble as Intercontinental Champion. And they wasn't into whether or not Sensational Cher was going to whose corner she was going to be there, but whose corner was she going to be in? And Shawn Michaels says that she loves me, so she's going to be in my corner, and she does whatever I tell her to do. I thought this was good here. The match itself was pretty good. Marty Jannetty hit a sick bulldog coming off the top rope, and then eventually he hit the the playmaker for the win, and Marty Jannetty won the match. I thought this was a good match here, pretty good stuff. And then the Repo Man gets interviewed, and he gets asked why he attacked Macho Man Randy Savage. And he said, Macho Man Randy Savage has been here for years, but he's never really referenced me. He's never talked about me, so that's going to make him talk about me. And then he takes the earpiece that the interviewer was wearing and puts it on, and him and Macho Man Randy Savage start talking shit to each other. Repo Man said that the next time I lay you out, you won't be able to walk anymore. It will be my much worse attack. And Macho Man Randy Savage wants to fight him tonight. He doesn't want to wrestle him in a match, but he wants to just have a good old-fashioned fight. So Macho Man Randy Savage gets off commentary to try to go find the Repo Man. And then we get the Royal Rumble report. Now, I actually like that they used to do this, because they used to have me and Gene Okerlund would go over the Royal Rumble card, and I like this, because I wish they would do this more often. It would actually help to hype up the pay-per-views nowadays, so I wish they would do this more often. And Razor Ramon cut the promo talking about how he really doesn't care how personal he made it. All he wants is Bret Hart's WWF Championship, and he's this close to getting it. After he beats Bret Hart, he's going to put that gold around his waist. So I saw Razor Ramon wasn't the best at cutting promos, but I like that he stays in character, and I do like his promos because of the character. And then Macho Man Randy Savage searches for the Repo Man, but he just missed him. And yeah, that was really about it there. And then we get Al Matador, which is Tito Santana. They call them both Tito Santana and Al Matador, versus Ric Flair. Al Matador just kicked Ric Flair's ass. I thought that was really cool right there. Then eventually Ric Flair takes control, and he starts attacking Al Matador. And during the match, Macho Man Randy Savage came back on commentary, and Ric Flair was talking trash to him. And eventually, Al Matador tries to attack, makes his comeback. He starts beating the crap out of Ric Flair. He hits a wicked clothesline outside the ring at some suplexes, a body slam. Then eventually, Ric Flair gets thrown roughly like hard against the turnbuckle, which causes him to go onto the apron. Then he falls off the apron. Then Matador did that clothesline. And then Al Matador tried to charge Ric Flair. Ric Flair pulled down the rope, and Ric Flair was like in control, but then Mr. Perfect runs out, and Ric Flair and Mr. Perfect just get into a brawl. I thought this brawl was really good. Sergeant Slaughter and other people were trying to break it up, and Ric Flair throws one of them to the steel post, and they brawl to the back. And then they come back from commercial, and then we're going to get some interviews with them, but then Mr. Perfect and Ric Flair continue to brawl, and then Vince McMahon interviews Ric Flair And Ric Flair challenges pretty much says that the WWF isn't big enough for the two of them. So he challenges Mr. Perfect to a match, and whoever loses has to leave the WWF. And then eventually, Mr. Perfect and Ric Flair even says that he's not a real man because he can't beat Ric Flair. So Mr. Perfect comes out and accepts the challenge, and he says if that's what it takes to get his hands on Ric Flair, then that's what he's gonna do. And that was it. I really like this stuff here. I can't wait to see that match. I'm probably gonna watch that match next week. And then the Rebel Man's backstage, and throughout the whole night, Bob Bartlett kept talking about how worried about his car, wondering if it got towed or not, and the Rebel Man towed Bob Bartlett's car. I thought that was good, and that's going to be a match. Well, from the next week's Raw, Rebel Man versus Macho Man Randy Savage. They had made that match, and something I like that they always said on this Raw was to really hype it up. They would talk about how it's uncensored, uncooked, and uncut, which I really like. Which it's a nice notion. They say it a lot, but it's a nice catchphrase. And that was the end of that Raw. What I liked about this Raw was, one, it's so old school. It's really cool. Had some good matches there with terrific Terry Taylor versus Mr. Perfect. The El Matador versus Ric Flair. And the Marty Jannetty match. And I like the interview with Bret Hart. I like the Royal Rumble stuff with the replay. I like the Rebel Man and Macho Man Randy Savage stuff. And yeah, I just think this is a nice old school episode of Raw. And it just feels old school. It feels cool. And it's not 3 hours. It's actually only like 45 minutes. So that's cool. And yeah, I like this. I liked Raw. And I'm going to be starting to do these Wrestling Throwback Friday reviews every week. And next week I will come back to review the following Raw leading up to this with Macho Man Randy Savage versus the Rebel Man, Mr. Perfect versus Ric Flair, loser leaves WWF or Raw, and I can't wait to see that. To see that stuff, and that's about it, everybody. I want to thank you guys for watching this video. For those of you guys that have, you can click up there to subscribe to my non-wrestling channel where we talk about non-wrestling things. My own Talkinator channel. Click down below to check out my CM Brothers channel where I talk about both. Over here, my friend James Hebert has 2 YouTube channels. Over here, you can click on his channel to check out James Hebert Side 95, where he can make custom Titan charts of wrestlers. Then over here, Wayne Through Wrestling, I've appeared on a couple of videos there. He's making a comeback with that in the summer, and I'm going to be appearing on there in the fall. So that's pretty much it, guys. You can click down below, subscribe to me, and that's pretty much it, guys. I'll talk to you guys later.